Hello everybody, for phonics this morning you will need your whiteboard pen and your sound mat. So please pause the video and go and get those ready. Thank you. Hello everybody, I hope you are all well, and I just want to say well done to all of you for all of your hard work this week. We have been so impressed with your work that you have been completing at home, so please do keep uploading those pictures and videos onto Tapestry because you have worked so hard, and I thought your writing was incredible. I thought maybe an adult must have done that writing. It was so good. So keep up your hard work. And in phonics this morning, I have a fun starter for you to complete. So I am going to put a sentence on the screen, and I would like you to read the sentence and draw a picture to tell me what the sentence says. Okay, so here is our super sentence, and I have added some sound buttons on to help you to read it. Now you will notice that the first word does not have any sound buttons on. I wonder if you could pause the video and tell somebody in your house why you think it has no sound buttons on. Now, if you said that it has no sound buttons on because it is a tricky word, which means we cannot use our sounds, then you are correct. So give yourself a big pat on the back. So the first word in our sentence is the tricky word the. Now the other words in our sentence have their sound buttons on, so we need to push the sound buttons and say each sound once, and then we squash those sounds together to say the whole word. So let's try the first one together. So the, b-i-g, big, the big. Now pause the video and see if you can read the rest of the sentence on your own. And remember to draw a picture to tell me what it says. Okay, I am sure you have drawn some beautiful pictures to show me. Let's read the sentence back together and check that we have read it correctly. So the, b-i-g, big, d-o-g, dog, is, s-at, sat, on, a, l-o-g, log. The big dog is sat on a log. So I think I will be seeing lots of pictures of a dog that is sat on a log. Well done, everybody. Okay, so for our next job, I would like us to go over the sounds that we have learned already this week. Now, I know that you're probably experts by now, so I have a little challenge for you. I'm going to do the action, and I would like you to shout the phoneme and write it down for me on your whiteboard. Okay, so we will do one together. So if I went like this, what phoneme would you shout at me? J, j. Okay, so you would shout the phoneme j, and then you would write the letter J on your whiteboard. Okay, so let's do another one, and you can pause the video after each one to give you a chance to write the grapheme. Are you ready? W, remember it's a tiny sound. And you're going to write the letter W. Are you ready for the next one? I think you'll like this one. So the sound is V, V, and you need to write the letter V. The next one is we learnt this sound yesterday and it is X, X. And you will write the letter X. Okay, now today I will not be introducing a new letter or sound. Instead, we're going to look at 2 new tricky words. But before I introduce our 2 new tricky words, I want to see how well you can remember the tricky words we have learned so far. So I would like you to get your magic wands in the air and we are going to magic our tricky words onto the screen. And when you see the tricky word, you need to shout what tricky word it is as loudly as you can. Are you ready? Whoosh. This is the tricky word the. The. If you said the, give yourself a fantastic. This is the tricky word two. Two. If you said two, give yourself a big round of applause. I. If you got the tricky word I, give yourself a big pat on the back. No. If you got the tricky word no, give your tummies a rub. Go. If you got the tricky word go, do a big marshmallow clap. Make sure your hands don't touch. Into. If you got the tricky word into, do a little happy wiggle. Now we are going to have a look at our 2 new tricky words. Remember, they are tricky words because we cannot use our sounds to read them. We have to remember how the whole word looks. This is our new tricky word, he. He. Can you say it for me? Can you lift up your head and shout it to the ceiling? The tricky word he is made up of the letters H and E. Say the tricky word he as quietly as you can. When we say the tricky word he, we are talking about a boy. I wonder what our next tricky word could be. Our next tricky word is the tricky word she. She. Can you say it for me? Can you turn your head to the side and say it again? And turn it to the other side and say it again. The tricky word she is made up of the letters S, H and E. When we say our tricky word she, we're talking about a little girl. Okay, so now that we have learned our 2 new tricky words, he and she, I have a little challenge for you. So I would like you to go and get 2 pieces of paper and a pencil. So you can pause the video while you go and get those for me. Okay, now that you have got them, I would like you to draw a picture of a girl on one piece of paper and a picture of a boy on the other piece of paper. After you have drawn your pictures, you are going to put them on the floor. And I am going to pop up onto the screen either the tricky word he or the tricky word she. If you can see the tricky word he, you will jump on the picture of the boy. Okay, he. If you can see the tricky word she, you need to jump on the picture of the little girl. So you can pause the video while you draw those pictures, and then you need to jump on either the girl for she or the boy for he. So make sure you keep your eyes peeled and see if you can spot the correct tricky word.
It's the tricky word he. Well done if you jumped on the boy. It's the tricky word she. Well done if you've jumped on the little girl. It's still the tricky word she, so you should be on the little girl. It's the tricky word he. He. It's the tricky word she. Hopefully you've jumped over to the little girl. And it's the tricky word he, so you should be on the boy. For the next part of our lesson, you will need your whiteboard and pen to look at how we write the tricky words he and she. We start at the top broken line to write the letter H. We go all the way down, up, over and flick. To write the letter E, we start between the 2 solid lines. We go up, over and flick. The letters H and E make up the word he. Pause the video while you have a go at writing our new tricky word on your whiteboard. To write the word she, we need to start between our 2 solid lines, writing the letter S. Then we go back up to the top broken to write the letter H. And we need to start between our 2 solid to form our letter E. We've looked at how we form these letters more closely before. See if you can write the new tricky words he and she. For the final part of our video, we are going to try and use our new tricky words he and she in a sentence. Let's have a look at this picture. What does the little boy have? He has a dog. He has a dog. Can you write the sentence he has a dog on your whiteboard for me? Now look at the picture of the little girl. What does she have? She has a... Use your sound mat to help you to find the sounds in each word and see if you can write it on your whiteboard. She has a... Ask a grown-up to upload pictures of your super sentence writing onto Tapestry later.